I am here today with Stephanie Dodd, and we have some really exciting things to talk about, especially for those of you out there who are overworked, overstressed, overstimulated, and even if you're a highly sensitive person as well. She has a wonderful, wonderful protocol that she has created, and the work that she is doing is intriguing, healing, and restorative, and so I can't wait to have you guys meet her. So Stephanie, tell everybody about you and tell us how you got to do what you're doing.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Dodd, and I am really a sensory deprivation facilitator where I take you on a journey through maybe meditation or a yoga practice where we start to take away some of our senses like sight and sound so that we can really get in touch with our inner self, our inner senses, and really we start to reestablish a whole new baseline for the way that our nervous system works. So I am a yoga instructor, I'm a meditation teacher, I'm a certified breath worker, I'm like all of these things, right? And so this work is really a culmination of doing holistic healing practice for the past, 12, 13, 14 years. And it all really started to stem from doing work as a master's degree in counseling to show up and help people really be their best selves.
So with your background in counseling, do you find that there's so many people out there that are overstressed and don't know how to connect with themselves and calm their nervous systems down?
I think we've got two types of people. We've got the people that are overstressed, overworked, and they know it, and they're actively working on it. And then we've got the people that are overstressed and overworked, and they're just like, this is just what life is. And I think I've sat on both sides, right? So sometimes we're so overwhelmed with stimulus from the outside world and what's going on that it's actually easier to just be like, this is normal. And I think what happens so then is our alarm systems are always really active so that any alert that's coming at us, it's kind of like our reactions are bigger than what they need to be. And it's really hard to live in a place of just like, not just presence and calmness, but like joy and fun when you're just constantly like ping, ping, ping. And so the work that I'm doing is helping to teach people, one, to have awareness of that, but like two, to just kind of like learn how to restabilize those reactions so that we really can enjoy our lives even with all of the outside stimulus.
Yes, as far as the tools and techniques that you use, you've created a protocol. So I want you to tell us a little bit about that because the holistic world, for any of you out there that have been, you're either new to holistic lifestyle and techniques or treatments, or you've been doing it for years. As you guys know, there's so many different things you can try. So I know you and I, Stephanie, share a little bit of this in common where we've been doing so many things for a long time. We've created a combination of things. So tell me about the Dodd Protocol and how you came up with it and how you use it.
Sure. So the Dodd Protocol, what it is, and it's like most basic form, is we intentionally deprive ourselves of certain senses and deliberately heighten other senses. And the way that we do this so that we can really kind of manipulate, like I said, our own body response and in turn turn on our inner senses so that we can have that feeling of being fully connected to our own like amazingness. And so this really came about, I'm a mom, I've got 3 kids, they are 8 and under, and I found myself overreacting like, mom, 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 mom. And I wanted to just kind of keep escaping to reset. But that's one, it's not practical for everybody to like go away and put themselves in a hotel room for a day or 2 or 3. And 2, it's not sustainable for me. So,
and it's not realistic to go into a sensory deprivation tank like Levin from Stranger Things. I don't know if you've seen that show, but like sensory deprivation is what they did to help her hone in and heighten another sense. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 6 years ago, my husband and I bought a sensory deprivation like tank
and those
to have it to our own house. They're expensive, and the maintenance, it's like having another child. So we don't currently have it set up because it's just it's a lot of work to do that type of self-care. And again, it takes a decent amount of time. So what I've done is created a protocol that Most often I do it for 10 minutes, but sometimes I do it for 30 seconds. And that is all I need. And so the protocol came to me in a moment of just like throwing my hands up to the sky, being like, how do I do this in a way that is tangible, that's accessible, that can be done quickly, and also that's teachable and really cost effective? And so this is something that I think kind of hits on all of those points. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because I, as a highly sensitive person, I work with empaths and highly sensitive people. So we're always looking for tools and techniques, not just for them, but also people who don't consider themselves that. Because as you said, we're in a very highly stimulating environment. And sometimes people don't have the time to go get a massage or go, you said, check out and check into a room for the weekend. Or those float tanks. You said you guys had a float tank. Those are amazing. And sometimes they can really hit people in their budget if they're not able to afford it. So what I really liked about your protocol was it was easy, it was simple, and you could do it in a matter of, even for me, I could do it just in a minute and then just go back. I mean, longer was nicer, but it was really accessible throughout a person for their busy schedule. So that's awesome. So we're just really excited that we're going to have you here at Firefly Hollow just to teach these upcoming workshops. And for those of you who are interested, we're going to talk a little bit about what are you going to be teaching, what are the benefits, and you guys can look at our website for those dates. But tell me about how you basically segued your protocol into teaching it. So now you have a meditation that you do, sensory deprivation meditation and sensory deprivation yoga. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it really started one day. I had been doing this practice for a few months and somebody was looking for speakers. And I was like, hey, I'll do speaking on this. And it hit with so many people. And I have really, as I've continued to grow from that, it's working for the gamut of people, right? So our highly sensitive empaths, those that know that they need this, and those that don't even know that they need it. Everyone's like, wow, I'm getting better sleep. That the number, I also really hear, I sank into a deep state of relaxation way quicker than I ever anticipated. And I think that that is just like, it's amazing. So what I'm going to be doing at the first workshop is really teaching a little bit of the background of like why and how we tune out all of our senses. And then we're going to do a couple practices. So we're going to do a very basic run of the protocol. Well, I'll also teach like how to use the protocol for specific emotions as they come up. So for instance, this morning, I just had like this underlying feeling of frustration because I hadn't gotten up and done some of my practices in the morning. And it's like, it's way too early to be feeling to carry frustration through my day. So within 5 minutes, I was able to do this protocol specifically to that, to really rewrite my conscious mind to take that throughout the day. So I'm going to teach how to do that. And then we're going to do just like a whole on chakra balancing, sensory deprivation meditation in that first workshop. And we'll have time for questions and talking. And I think it's going to be a really, like, I can already feel into it. And I know it's going to be a really special, magical gathering.
That's amazing. I am very, very passionate about getting real with your emotions. People, if you've heard me talk before, I've always said that it's really important for us to not push things down. That's when we put things under the rug. And then, of course, then we have addictions and other habits and patterns that come up to really try to push those away. So any tools and techniques that you can use to really address them, especially something like this, Stephanie, that's amazing that you're having a protocol to address specific emotions, because some of those emotions can be so overwhelming and even embarrassing. Some people have shame about emotions that they feel, and they're not able to get real with themselves and look at them. So tell me about yourself as far as your journey. One example of using the Dodd Protocol for addressing a specific emotion. I'm really curious about that.
Yeah. So I talked about like turning kind of frustration into accomplishment. That was this morning, and that was pretty simple. But as a person who really, I think, has been unaware of how to name all of my emotions, the easiest thing to do is to kind of like press them down, right? It's like, oh, I'm feeling something. Okay, I'm okay, right? And continue on. And so this protocol, I mean, I literally, because I'm not like a superstar in naming my emotions, I keep a list hundreds of emotions. So I can kind of go down that list. And I know last week I was going through it and I was like, oh, dejected. Like, yes, I am totally feeling that. And that's, I think, an emotion that we can have some shame around. It's like disconnection and depression, and just how I was really able to use an oil specific to that called release. And it was like, I release all of these limitations I put on myself, and just to really come to a place of like, I amness. And I think for those of us who are working with others, who are parenting, who have any type of influence on our younger generation specifically, I mean, I'm looking at like teacher, anyone who's out there, you can be a healthcare provider. Man, when we don't carry that into our day, and when we show up whole, and our children, who I think just naturally can feel all of this, start to feel us transitioning that, it's probably the most, for me, that's part of my why this is so important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys healers out there and healthcare workers, absolutely. You guys, we're part of that as well, Stephanie, but
Yeah.
we absolutely need a lot more self-care and ways that we can care for ourselves, to be able to fill up our cups so we can help others. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm really excited to hear more about which essential oils you're using for which emotion, things like that. So that's awesome. So that's part of the sensory deprivation meditation protocol that you're going to be teaching us, correct?
It is. And I will bring everything that everyone needs for that. So if you have a favorite oil, bring it, because everything works. But like, I will bring everything that we need to do all of this, and blindfolds and earplugs. And it's going to be really
cool.
Fantastic. And the other thing that I just want to note about this is when you learn this technique, it's really easy. It has like that Pavlovian dog kind of trait to it, in that I might do my 10, 12 minutes in the morning, but if those feelings start to arise again, I can easily just use some of the energy medicine, touching technique that's part of the protocol, or even just taking the oil and re-smelling it, and it re-triggers your brain back into that state, that conscious awareness that you set up earlier in the day. So it really can become like a 5-10 second reminder to just shift you right back to where you were.
Can you real quick give us a quick, brief cliff notes on what the Pavlov's dogs, because I don't know if everyone knows that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, let me see if I can get it right. So it was like, they would ring a bell, they would have food out and ring a bell, and the two became very much connected, so that even when they would, I'm not telling this story, right? Can you tell it? When they would ring the bell, the dog would expect the food.
Yeah. So what I think was kind of weird about the whole study is they attached some sort of device to the dog's mouth to measure saliva, because when they were bringing food out, the dog would salivate. Yeah. Part of me thinks back nowadays they wouldn't allow that kind of testing on animals, but they basically brought the dog food in, and they would ring a bell, and they started ringing the bell a little bit before the dog food came in, and then the dog had associated so much of being fed with that bell that it automatically salivates. It's kind of like whenever I think of pickles, like immediately my mouth starts going, oh, pickles, I want a pickle. And you might even salivate thinking about eating a pickle. It's an association thing. So yeah.
So what we're doing is we're taking away senses, and then we're bringing in associations, so that, and in the meantime, it's like a meditative practice that you don't have to just sit there and meditate. We give you things to do so that it's really, really easy for anyone to get into that blissful state. But then with these associations we create, you can take those associations throughout the day with you. And it's just like, it's magic. It's really cool. And it's magic, and there's like science behind it, right? So it kind of merges both worlds.
And for those of you who are really nerdy and into the science of meditation and say, I want to meditate, I don't know how to, I would really suggest learning the Dodd Protocol and coming to this class, because it's something that's overwhelming when you're first starting to meditate and you're wanting to get the benefits of it, or you feel like you failed or you can't do it. I definitely suggest coming and checking this out. So next thing, Stephanie's also going to come, and she's going to be doing the sensory deprivation yoga. You don't have to be even done a yoga class before, or do you have to have experienced yoga before, Stephanie?
So, I mean, I think if you want, you can do either. Like, come as you are, come as you are. There's no limitations on this. If you have a really basic understanding of what Warrior One poses and Warrior Two poses, you're probably going to be able to appreciate and feel a little bit safer going into poses with a blindfold on. But if you just have it flipped up and you want to put it down for a couple of seconds, this is basically what it's going to be, is a fairly gentle but very mindful yoga practice where we are including the protocol in the poses. So most of it, some of it, all of it, we're going to see where it goes, is going to be with the use of blindfolds and earplugs so that you can really hear your own breath. And so that when you're in that pose and your mind starts wandering, we can give you the protocol to just do, to like really be in your body. I think that that's the one thing that's so consistent for all of us, is with all this overwhelm, being overworked, being overstressed, having all of this stuff going on, we live in our heads, and it's rare that we get a chance to fully be in our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is super exciting. So if anyone has not done yoga before, you're welcome to come. If you're welcome to stay unblindfolded, like Stephanie said, for part of it. Definitely, if you are a yogi and you've been practicing yoga for years and you want to deepen your practice, I would recommend that, because not only the whole mind and spirit connection with yoga and your practice, going deeper into yourself, not only physically getting yourself grounded, as Stephanie said, but if you are, say, particularly doing a specific pose and you have a specific emotion or something that comes up, I definitely can see how sensory deprivation involved in your yoga practice could help you deepen into that space. And what are you holding in your body, and specifically in that part of your body that you're activating those muscles for that yoga pose. For those of you who are like, what is she talking about? Like, this is the depth of holistic health, right, Stephanie? Where you go into yourself in a really deep way. So I would tell people who are they're new to holistic stuff, they're like, well, I don't know if I want to go into all that. You kind of, I think with this technique, and correct me if I'm wrong, and with anything in holistic health, you basically can go to what level you want to. If you want to just get yourself clear-minded and use the sensory deprivation yoga to do that, or if you want to go deeper into yourself, into your psychology, I definitely can see how that would be a tool for that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I get so excited. I'm like, this is great. So tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to meet you exactly where you are, and it's going to take you exactly where you want to go. The thing that I love about doing my practice, I've done my practice blindfolded at home often. I haven't yet carried my blindfold into a yoga class, but I have done an hour and 15 class with my eyes closed the entire time. And it's a completely different experience, because, right, the other thing that I think that we work on is how do we get out of our ego? Mm-hmm. And I will put my hand up. I've been doing yoga now since 2011. I still get into class and I'm like, I'm rocking this pose. Look at me, and that's not what it's about. And so when you're doing your practice without the sense of sight, and even we practice, for anyone who's done yoga, a lot of times we focus on hearing our breath, like the sound of the ocean. But when you put earplugs in, that sound is heightened already. And so you don't even have to be experienced in how to do that. It just kind of happens. And what happens is when you take off that blindfold, it's almost like you're like, oh yeah, this is where I am, because you've really just let go of all of that need to impress others, or and if other people have blindfolds on, it also lets go of that thing of like, but other people are watching.
Yeah.
And you really get to do for you what your body is asking of you that day and in that moment, because my practice is not the same every day, depending on where I am emotionally in my cycle, what's going on, and so you really get to be right where you need to be, and how we don't get to give ourselves that gift on a regular basis, I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm very excited for you to come join us. I hope all of you out there are excited. Stephanie, could you just help us maybe wrap up here with list some of the benefits to the Dodd Protocol and sensory deprivation, and let us know how to reach you. How can we get a hold of you if anyone wants to connect with you outside of Firefly Hollow?
Great, thank you. My website is stephdodd.com. I'm on Instagram at Mrs. Stephanie Dodd, and I'm also on Facebook at Stephanie Dodd, or you can find the Dodd Protocol to Happier Living and connect with me that way. But I think I've been hearing from a lot of people. 2 random friends texted me this week. Both of them said the same thing. I went on your site and I did your protocol and it quieted the noise. It's like my head was swirling. It quieted the noise. It worked way better than I ever expected. And I think a lot of people also say that their quality of sleep significantly increases. And so all of that is just like win, win, and win.
Wonderful. That's so exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thanks for joining me today. And we will see you upcoming this month here at Firefly Hollow Wellness. For those of you who want to sign up for Stephanie's classes, go to fireflyhollowwellness.com. You can register online, or you can download our free mobile app that's just Firefly Hollow app, and you can also register that way. If you want to call to register, you can also do that. Our secretary is available throughout the week, Monday through Friday, and the number is 717-814-9136. Thanks again, Stephanie, for joining us, and thank you guys for watching.